Hey, good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to our Q&A training for tonight. And I am going to turn on the chat, and let me make sure that we are turned on, and we are. And I will turn on the Q&A. All right, and we are turned on. So good to see you all here this evening. And just so that you'll know, now next week I'm going to be traveling to Chicago. My brother-in-law passed away, so I'm going to be. I may be either late on Saturday or I may have to push to Sunday, our weekend Q&A. So just be on the lookout there. I'll have to kind of see how my schedule is going to go. And but other than that, I should be in there with you this evening. Hello, Sharon. And so let's just talk about a few things. I do want to let you know that our new GPT Store videos are available. And this is Chat GPT Extended Volume 2. And we last time when we did Chat GPT Extended, we just talked about the Plus system. We talked a little bit about custom GPTs. Obviously, you've heard the news that GPT Store is now open. I'm going to talk a little bit about that tonight. Obviously, I'm going to save the bulk of what I'm going to be talking about for the DFY Live Masterclass, which is going to be, I think, is going to be tomorrow night. But I want to talk to you a little bit about what I think is going on and whether or not and what you should be telling your customers in particular about this marketplace and whether or not this is going to be something that we need to be involved in. And so if you have not picked up our chat now, just so you'll know, if you're an Ultimate Insider, this is discounted in the member area, and you can look to the Insider newsletter in order to do that. And uh, um, you can get our links that are there. If not, you can pick it up at the URLs that you see here on the screen. Um, Before I get into GPTs, and I just want to just kind of reiterate one of the things I talked about last week. Now, obviously, if you have questions, you can write them in the chat bubble. I'll be able to see them there, or the Q&A bubble. I think I can see both your questions there and the chat bubble. But um, in particular, um, what I think is going to be happening even beyond AI, and I think that AI apart, right? I mean, some people are going to be um, some people are obviously they're always going to be uh let me see. Um, okay. Um Obviously I think what's going to be happening is that regardless of whether or not you are an AI aficionado, um in order to run memberships and in order to generate the kind and to build the kind of communities and kind of passive income that most of you all are really looking to do, um, community is going to have to be a part of that. And content is going to be one part of it. Community is definitely going to have to be part of it. Now, that does not necessarily mean that you've got to have, you've got to be in circle. As you know, recently I use the word sunset. I sunset circle. I don't think that that's the right medium for PLR users. We're sort of rethinking how we want to do community, and so, but community does have to be a component, and it's something that you and I have to think about. We've got to be intentional about, and we've got to teach our customers to be intentional about, because what AI has done is it has elevated the value of some content, has devalued the value of some content, right? And so obviously, what you want to do is you want to be in the group of people that AI is elevating it because of the sameness of AI. That means then if you produce something that's going to be um I think unique, and it's something that's going to be not necessarily something that AI can teach. You're still going to be in high demand. And so that's going to be the key there. But long term, though, I think that you still have to build community, and that's really where I think the future of business is going to be for small and solo entrepreneurs. I mean, obviously, if you want to team up and you want to be part of a big company, that's going to be one way to do it. But I do think that for small and solo entrepreneurs, those of us who are going to be doing this any length of time, we're going to have to build community of some kind, and there are communities of all kind, and you've seen them. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that you got to be on Facebook. It doesn't mean that you've got to be in school. I think somebody showed me that community. I'm not necessarily all that impressed enough to go and get it. I think some big marketer bought it or something. Alex Hermosi, he bought it, and that doesn't move me, right? Because that doesn't necessarily mean that that's a good place for me to have conversations with either ultimate insiders or with the PLR show community. So we're thinking about how to do that going into 2024. And I think that's something that we all have to think about kind of going forward. The other thing that we talked about last week was becoming the platform. And I just want to kind of reintroduce this idea and where I think that all of us have to graduate to, and it's beyond PLR, right? It's the next step of content marketing. It's the next step, I believe, of publishing and really being an information marketer. And I think that's whether or not you are an author, whether or not you are a speaker, whether you are an information marketer where you're creating courses. I think that the future is going to be becoming a platform in and of yourself, where basically what you're doing is you're going to invite people to a platform with your content, with your ideas. And instead of, let's say, giving people the rights to teach it without your name on it, you're going to need to create the kind of platform where people have the rights to teach your content and teach your ideas with your name on it. And instead of paying you, let's say, for a per copy fee, you want to have people pay you a royalty. And so I think that is the way of the future, right? I think that's the way. That's where you and I should be graduating to as information marketers, where instead of just becoming part of a platform, we need to be our own platform, right? And so there are ways to do that. I mean, obviously, at this stage, I think that the one way to do this, not the only way to do that, but one way to do that is to have, your have an agency license of something like a Go High Level, where basically, if somebody wants to teach your content, if they want to teach your method, they need to teach it with your name on it. And the only way they're going to be able to do that is they're going to have to buy access to one of your sites where you do that, right? Where you give people an entire done for you site of your content with your name on it. And so one of the things that we're doing this year is we're doing a course called Video Academy Boss. And I don't really care how well that course sells. I'm doing it primarily for ultimate insiders so that when they get to that point where they want to teach somebody how to use their platform, the videos will be there. Right. And right now, those videos are tied to Go High Level because that's the only platform that's do that you can do that on. You can do it a little bit on System.io. And so we're going to have videos for people who want to do that. And that's really what Expertise Monetization Playbook will do. Um, uh, System.io is not quite as expensive, but it doesn't do as much. You can't quite do the whole platform business model where you're basically giving people the opportunity to teach your views, right? Your content with your name on it, but you can sort of do it, right? And I'm going to be doing that, throughout those courses, Expertise Monetization Playbook. That's what that series is about. So as we start to do those series, I think we've got another one coming this month. You want to make sure you get all of those, and basically, you can either use those one or two ways if you're doing the expertise. If you're teaching people how to start their own online business, it's not a perfect solution. I know that, and I need to say this every week that I'm not a System.io fanboy. As I look at it on your behalf, I don't see an easier way for you to teach your customers how to get started and to have a platform. If you're trying to teach them WordPress, and you're gonna put it back on you in order to have them ask you questions. You're what is the character, the thing say? You're cruising for a bruising, right? So if you're saying, well, follow me and I'm going to show you how to start an online business, you're going to do that all on WordPress, and you're going to take somebody brand new and bring them up to speed. You're going to spend a lot of your time on plugins. You're going to spend a lot of your time on themes and customizing themes. And I just think that right now, as fast as things are moving, again, I do not think that System.io is a perfect platform. And again, I know that the propensity of internet marketers is to mess stuff up, right? We can get something and we can get something good and we will run it into the ground. And they're internet marketers. So it could be in 5 years, the thing they may have, they may have run that thing into the ground and made it all about internet marketers. They have made it all about business opportunity. But as of right now, if you were to coach somebody and you were to say, hey, I'm going to show you how to start marketing your business online, and you want the platform part to be invisible, right? You don't want them to worry about the platform. Well, I would say you get our expertise monetization videos and you make the platform invisible. So then it's all about teaching the marketing. It's all about teaching them your method of getting in front of people, your method of networking. And one of the things I found that um, most of us have a different way of networking and developing contacts that's unique to us. And that's what you need to be teaching your customers, is your way of networking. But but that platform is one way to do it. But the real way to do this, right, is to have your own. When you feel like you can justify that payment on a recurring basis, what you really want to have is you want to be an ability to be the platform where your customers are coming to you and say, oh, you know what, I want to teach on basket weaving, right? But I want to teach a proven method. I want to teach a name recognition. And so part of your job in being the platform. So what's your job, right? So what are you doing during all this time? Well, you're building the brand. You're building the YouTube channel so that you have name recognition, so that when somebody goes to teach your method, it's not going to be a struggle, right? They're not going to have a struggle walking into some place and teaching your method. So you've got to build a brand. You've got to be, whether it's blogging or podcasting. And again, blogging, podcasting, all that stuff, you're not going to get paid for all that stuff. You're not so not everything can be a business opportunity sale. And that's one of the things that I've been really trying to um, uh, put into what we're doing with Ultimate Insiders is to think beyond the business opportunity space. Make your money in it if you want to. Do what you can. If you want to launch on Warrior Plus, JVZoo, you want to build a list there. I think that's perfect. And some people will build their entire business there. But if you can build, entire brand, and you can have that brand where it's got the kind of recognition in a very specific niche that is very central to you, then you get your name put on it, and you tell other people, hey, if you want to teach this, then you teach this on my platform. I'll give you a site, I'll give you everything you need. That's where you're graduating to. So if you're trying to figure out, well, what happens after I build a learning center? What happens after I build a learning community? What do I graduate to? Well, you graduate to being a platform. I do want to talk a little bit about the GPT store, and and uh, um, and then I'm going to open it up for questions, because this is what we're presently doing. And those of you who, if you've picked up our GPT Store PLR, you probably have seen this already. If you're an Ultimate Insider, again, or your discount link is inside of the member area. Let me talk a little bit about the OpenAI GPT Store. And I said this in the course that GPTs are going to be monetized based on engagement. That's what they're saying right now. So in other words, they're saying people are not going to go to the GPT store and they're not going to buy it, and they're not going to pay the people who create them based on anything. They're not going to pay a price for it today. right? Today, that's today. Now, you know, these big companies, internet companies, if you've been in this game long enough, you know they're eventually going to have to change because right now I think they're losing something obnoxious, like, $700,000 a day or something like that. So they're going to have to monetize. So whatever they're doing right now, it's going to change because they got to make more money. But this is going to make them money. And basically, what they're trying to do, they're saying that if somebody interacts with a GPT that's in their store, that's going to do better. They're looking for engagement. So they're going to pay you based on engagement if you have a GPT in that store. And you can create as many as you want. So you start thinking about what are your core principles, right? What do you want to be known for? And maybe you should have a GPT on all of those. Maybe you should have a GPT on your entire set of core principles. Not necessarily always because you're going to make money today, right? Not everything is going to be like, I got to make a sale today. Some of these things, what you're trying to do is, I'm talking again about being the platform. And just like you had to be someplace in search, you might need to be here just for that purpose. Um, you can build an unlimited number of GPTs. You can obviously, and I said this in the course, you can only put so many files into a course. I think you can put 20. You can upload 20 files, and basically what the files do when you put it inside of a GPT is it provides context. So in other words, if I do the example I did in the course was how to create a great tutorial, and I upload 20 PowerPoints, and I program it, and I say to it, I say that the files that I put here are examples of what good sentence structure is. Use them in this way. So I tell the GPT to do that. And so you're going to be able to do a lot of different things when you program these things. And I encourage you to watch the course. It's not like going to be like I think anything else that I think I've seen. And by looking at some of where I think it's going, I think I understand what it is you need to do. And it's not about ranking, right? And I said that near the end of the course. Please do not turn this into a business opportunity right now. And if you want to do that, right, there are courses that are available on this. I think you need to think about this in a little different way. That if you do that, you're going to get a long-term benefit because their goal is to keep people on their platform, just like Google, right? And Google has been that over the years. And I think they see they're definitely going for the jugular. Google is huge. There's no way they're going to take over all the search traffic from Google. But what I will say is that people when people get bored with something, they're going to go elsewhere. And I think that what OpenAI is basically doing is they're just kind of keeping people excited about it. And Google is not very exciting right now. It's the old, it's kind of like the old dude, right? The old man. And kind of steady, but not necessarily all that exciting. And so basically what you could be doing is you could be placing a GPT there. And again, I'm going to go through the business model in the DFY Live Masterclass. So I'm not going into that right now, but you're basically trying to be findable. You're not trying to rank. And I think I saw a course about how to rank in the store. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm sure you can rank now for a keyword. Again, that's very business opportunity minded. And if that's where you want to be with this, then I think that's fine. But you just need to recognize that's what you're doing. I think that if you're building a brand for a longer time, you're trying to build recurring income, you got to think differently. What you're doing now, the other thing you got to remember about this whole thing, and one of the things I'm thinking about too, even as I teach you this, even if as I consider about what I'm going to do with the platform, when you're putting your content there and you're assigning it to the AI, there are big fights about this right now. And you probably see in New York Times they're suing OpenAI, and I don't think they've really got a case. They're not going to win, but what they're basically doing is they're making a public statement to OpenAI, and they're saying they're trying to get people riled up about having their content used to train the model. I think that's the whole strategy of the New York Times. That's why they're suing OpenAI. They don't expect to win. They're not going to win. could get dismissed. They don't really have a case, but it's not even about that. They're just trying to say publicly it's not cool if you're using our content without our permission to train your model and not give me anything for it. And so I think they asked for something obnoxious, but not too obnoxious. They're not going to get any money from it, but it's about making the statement, and that's what they're doing. And they could be making a valid statement. And the reason I say that to you about the GPT store is that when you put your content there, now they say that there's privacy, they're not going to be using it. It's eventually going to be used, right? I mean, they're trying to monetize. And so you're taking your best ideas, you're putting them there because you're trying to find customers. There's a trade-off, right? There's always a trade-off. So you're not going to just get on there for free, find a bunch of customers by putting your content there, and then expect that they're not going to get something back from that. So again, it's a business decision. Um, Okay, so those are my comments for tonight. I will start taking questions for a little bit more time. Just as a reminder, all of our best content and our training, make sure that you become an Ultimate Insider. You can do that at theplrshow.com/insiders. And then today, remember, if you're not an Ultimate Insider, you can get our GPT Store videos, and the DFY is going to be pretty exciting. We're going to be talking about the business model, right? The business application of having your GPTs there. And I'm always thinking beyond business opportunity. I will cover the business opportunity aspect of it. I know some people they want to make sales, right? I want to see the cash now, and I'm going to cover that. But I'm also going to cover what I think is a bigger picture that I alluded to a little bit tonight, and that's part of the upgrade when you get that. So make sure that you also get the DFY Live Masterclass upgrade because that is where you're going to get the PowerPoint, you're going to get the video, and if you want to, and I was talking with an Ultimate Insider today, and one of the things that this person is very smartly is going to be doing with some of our DFY Live Masterclasses is she's going to be taking some of them and then going to her people and saying, well, hey, if you want to license this, you're going to have to buy it. So because it has unrestricted rights, you can then take it, tweak it for your niche, and then give it to people and let them buy the rights from you. So you're selling it not as quote PLR, but to call it something different. In her market, it's going to be something totally different, right? But it's the same idea of licensing something to someone, taking something that I did and basically leveraging that and turning that into a revenue source, right? And very very I had very very good call with this Ultimate Insider this week. Okay, so let me do this. I'm going to take a brief step away. I'm gonna grab a drink of water. My water is out, and then I will get back. I will get to your questions right away. And so if you give me 2 minutes, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I am back, and let me turn on the questions now. If you're if you're typing in questions from um, YouTube or Facebook, I don't know if I can see them. I don't have the chat turned on. Um, so I don't know if I can do all the if I can do that quickly, but okay, let me start with the questions I first have in the Q&A. Then I will move over to the questions I have in the chat, and then we will go from there. Thank you, Santu. Yeah, had a brother-in-law. This guy was uh, I say, I grew up with sisters, and so he was not just like a brother to me. He was a brother I didn't have. So very close to him, and very sorry. But he had dementia at the end, and so I am I think I'm more relieved than anything else for the sake of my sister and for him. I think it was around about 2017, 2018. He's just not been the same person. And so yeah. So I think I'm more relieved also that, he could have peace, right? Okay, so okay, so the GPT store is um, basically um, if you look at the lead magnet video that I did on the sales page, basically it's OpenAI's place for you to do your own custom programming of ChatGPT. And you're going to make your own version of ChatGPT for whatever reason. And so it's easy to do. They kind of walk you through it once you understand, the programming. It does take a paid account, but it doesn't take a programming degree. So anybody can program a GPT, and then they can make it publicly available. It's really that simple. So if a person wanted to, let's say, what would I do? Like I would do something uh, like I could take my 12 principles. I could do something on how to promote PLR, right? I could do a GPT on how to promote PLR, and somebody could go in my GPT, and they could say, well, how can I promote I just bought a PLR product about this, and how would I promote it? And so I would program that GPT with my 12 principles. Position yourself as an educator, do a weekly workshop. And so it would then guide the person through that. So whatever a person can think of, and there are a range of things, right, that a person can do in order to create a GPT. And it's really uh, it's a publication strategy. I don't know whether or not it's going to become a thing. I don't know if it's going to um, become like a search engine. I know that's what they're trying to do. And what they're trying to do is they are trying to basically make it so that people use the platform, right? And so that is really what they are trying to do. Okay, so I think I've done all of I think I said hello to Sharon, so thank you. So okay, so I'm going to turn off the Q&A. I think I've done those. All right, and I'm going to move over to the chat. All right, okay. Okay, Alex Hormozy bought School, Skool, right? School. It's a community app. I think it's like 99 a month, one price. And I'm not that interested in going back. And this is nobody asked me this, but I'm not that interested in going back to one of those platforms at this point. Um, yeah, Donald, I think that probably the best thing for you, if you were to say what to do, I would do a two-pronged strategy. And for you personally, right? And this is for you because I know what you're doing is I would take, I know that you have access to Expertise Monetization Playbook, Volume 1. I would start by promoting it as a way for people to monetize their expertise and their experience. And I would have my affiliate link for system.io. And in order for them to follow your course, they will have to get their own account. And that is what I would really do. And so basically, what that means is that I would do that course does have its own weekly workshop. So I would do a workshop with it, right? I would literally teach, either take mine or teach it. And at the end, just like I'm doing with you right now, doesn't have to be a Q&A, just like I'm doing, teach the lesson, right? You can either, I think on those lessons, I talked maybe about an hour on some of them. I would just teach one at a time. And then at the end, I would pitch the course. And so I would pitch the course um, based on what you teach in the session. So that's the simplest way. I would start with expertise monetization playbook. I would, have the system affiliate link, and you can do it one or two ways. And I think I can't remember who I talked to about this. I think I talked to um, someone earlier this week. They can either become a become a recurring subscriber to your through your affiliate link, or they can buy the course. Either way. So, if they choose to become a recurring subscriber, you'll see it there in the dashboard. If they do, then then they can get the courses right on a monthly basis for free. I mean, next month they can then get Expertise Monetization Playbook Volume 2. Month after that, they can get Expertise Monetization Playbook Volume 3. I'm going to be doing Volume 3 hopefully this month. And so each month that they say subscribe, they can get access to those courses. That is what I would do, Dr. Medley, to get started, based on what you have, based on what I know you have. Okay. Okay. So the GPT store, I will show you. Okay. It's done by the people who do Chat GPT, right? And basically they're saying, and what they have given people is the opportunity to have their own custom programmed GPTs. Let me go in here to the to Chat GPT and I'll show you. Right, because I did this in the course, but I will do this here. And so let's go into Explore GPTs. Right now, a um, you do have to have a Plus account in order to do this. But basically, what you're doing here when you create your own GPT and make it available is you're going to go in here and then click create. And then the GPT builder is going to ask you, well, what do you want to create? Right? And you're going to basically do what I call iterate with the chatbot. You're going to go back and forth to create your own custom version of ChatGPT based on something you want to do, or basically you want to teach, or based on what you want your brand to be. So for me, let's say that I want to create a GPT teaching people how teaching people how to monetize their private label rights videos that are recorded all step by step and over the shoulder and on screen. Right. So then I go. So again, now you will have this available if you have the Chat GPT Plus account. And so you would have to have an upgraded, I don't want to say upgraded subscription, but you would have to have the Plus account in order to do this. So it's going to ask me, how about naming this GPT PLR monetizer? Does that sound good to you? I'm going to say no. I don't like that. I don't like that. Let's call this Extreme Business Makeover. right? I'm not going to go through the entire process here, but basically, I'm going to be custom building. Uh, Boy, what a I don't like the profile picture. Um, no, I don't like that. So basically, what you're doing is you're building a custom a custom version of ChatGPT so that people can interact with it, right? That's basically what a GPT is. And so what you're doing then is you're going to make this available in, and I'll show you this here, in their GPT store. And all this is done by OpenAI. So basically, people who they go to the GPT store, and I'll show you this here. So I've got something in here called Copywriting Wizard, right? So Copywriting Wizard. Okay, so this is mine. This is one that I created, right? Not too many people use it because I only created it for the course, right? Now, eventually, I'm going to deliver that. I'm going to delete this, but this is a GPT that I created that people can go to the GPT store to find. So let me put the link to GPT Store in the chat. And if you want to check it out, you can check it out. I would suggest that you do anyway, right? And that's really what the course is about. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so Gail, no either. Okay, yeah, so that's basically what a GPT is, right? And what the GPT store is really about. It's a custom programmed, it's a way of custom programming without being a programmer, right? It's because anybody can kind of go in here, and let me kind of go in here and find my own GPTs, go back into Extreme Business Makeover, and basically you're going to go back and forth with this chatbot to create what you want. Now, one of the things that this GPT allows you to do is it allows you to upload files to customize it. So let's say that what I wanted to do was I wanted to make sure it's going to teach my philosophy. It's going to guide by my philosophy. Well, I'm going to upload the files here, and I'm going to tell ChatGPT how it should use those files, right? So I am creating a custom programmed GPT. It's a way for people to use Chat GPT based on my parameters, right? So that's pretty much what you are doing when you're doing a GPT, right? Yeah. So Sharon makes a is actually um um explained as well. So OpenAI set up this store, right? And you choose pretty much anything that you want to communicate. So it's just like custom programming your philosophy on something or your method on something, and you want people to interact with you through this software. Uh, and so Jane is saying, so frequently asked questions about PLR app chatbot. That right, that could be one, right? That would be a very good way of being able to do it. Sharon Kinnear, who's got the I forget the name of her group. She's got the Facebook group, and if you're not part of her Facebook group, you should be part of her Facebook group about PLR. She's doing something called she has a GPT called Marketing PLR and Sales PLR, along with one for repurposing PLR, right? So yeah, so it is a custom programmed way of being able to interact with Chat GPT, and you are making it available in the GPT store. So whatever your market is, whatever your niche is, you find a way of being able to put this into what it is that you are doing and create a custom way of people being able to interact with ChatGPT based on your parameters. And you make it available in the GPT store so anyone can get access to it. And obviously, are people going to interact with a one that I do on PLR? I don't know, but it's more of a way of being available on a platform that may become a search engine. Again, I don't know that it is going to become that. And what I'm telling you tonight is I don't know that it's not going to become that. And so it's right on the cusp of becoming something that could be like a search engine. And so will you benefit? I can't promise you that if you create all your GPTs, you make them available, that you're going to make this, make all this big sum of money or that all this big audience is going to come. But I do think it's a way of branding yourself. Well, you'd want to interact with a smaller GPT. Let me show you. Well, here's how I look at it. Right, some of the ones that I use. Um, for example, in my graduate program, one of the things I have to look for are going to be papers. And so basically, instead of me hunting down a paper or trying to hunt down an academic paper or trying to find one with specific citations, I can use this particular GPT and it's totally focused on finding papers. So I don't have to go through asking the chat bot and trying to go through whether or not something is hallucinating or anything like that. This one GPT filters out all of those other choices. So it focuses me in on one particular aspect of using this element. Um, and if you think in that same way, here's one based on how to learn coding. So one of the things that one of my goals this year is to learn about how to use APIs. Well, I could go to ChatGPT and I could say, teach me about APIs, or I could go to one particular GPT that's focused on coding. And so it's going to have all of the documentation that it thinks, at least, or the creator thinks, that I would need to focus in on in order to learn about a particular aspect of coding. Um, so really, it is a way of being able to create your corner of ChatGPT. And I interact with smaller versions of ChatGPT all the time through plugins. Because it used to be that the only way you could do this, let me see, is that I go back to ChatGPT, is that you'd have to do it through plugins, right? And so we go back to the plugin store, and these are eventually going to now become obsolete, I believe, right? So let's say that um, one thing I may want to do is I want to be able to summarize YouTube videos. So um, I say summarize YouTube, right? Well, there are specific plugins that are available that summarize YouTube. I could ask ChatGPT to do that, but it doesn't always even know what a video is. It doesn't always connect to the right video, and it hallucinates sometimes. So what I would do is I would go to one of the plugins in order to do that. I used to. Well, now more than likely, what I can do is I can go to Explore GPT. I can say summarize YouTube, and here's a video. So somebody who created a plugin also created a GPT, right? So I go to this GPT and let's say that I'm going to go and I'm going to get a video from YouTube. I'm just going to go in here and let me just find a video. Okay, I'm going to stop that. I'm just going to say summarize this video. Okay, I'm going to allow it to. Okay, and that's pretty much a summary of that video, right? Now I could try the same thing in Chat GPT. So let's try the same thing there, and let's just go to Chat GPT. And I say summarize this video. Okay, so what's it going to tell me? It's going to tell me it can't do that. Can ChatGPT summarize or translate a YouTube video? Uh, Probably. Probably it could through a GPT. So we'll say, let's say we can say YouTube, translate YouTube. Let's see if we can search for that. Video translator. I don't know if that will do it. Extracts and translates YouTube scripts to Chinese. Well, that's not what we want. So likely it can. I don't know which one will do it to translate YouTube. Maybe one of these will do it. Script translator. Let's try that one. Translates Russian scripts for YouTube. Okay, so I can't find it, but likely Santu, it does. Right? There is one that will do it. Um, Time is my enemy in trying to find one. But there's probably a plugin that'll do it, right? Part of the Plus account. Right, yeah. And so Jane, yeah, so if you um I don't know if anybody has created a GPT yet on let's say creating a Roku channel. Let's say Roku. Okay, no results found yet. So, I mean, it could be wide open for you to create one, right? Uh, okay, any questions? Giving you kind of a crash course on GPTs and the GPT store. Any other questions? Well, everybody, it's about 7:50 Eastern Standard Time, and um, absent the 5 minutes I took to get water, uh, uh, I'm I'm at 45 minutes. That's pretty good, right? Right? We're not an hour and 15 minutes. 45 minutes is good. And so tomorrow night I will talk about the business model for GPT Store, and that's really about it. So hope that this has been helpful for you. I appreciate you all hanging out with me here. Um, the it'll probably be I've currently have it scheduled at 9. I may move it up to 7, but I'm thinking that Sundays um, Sundays are kind of are jam packed for me, with church and all the other stuff. So I may not be able to do that call until 9. That's what it's scheduled for 9. I may have to keep that for 9 Eastern Standard Time. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you very much for hanging out with me here. I appreciate you all so very much. Have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.